donut, it won't be on there. Oh, sorry. That's all right. I was told that the laptop was in the right place, but it wasn't. But it's all sorted now, no problem. Afternoon, Kay. Hi, Andrea. Thank you. Sorry I'm late. Why is it whenever you're late, you hit every single red light, every road work in the whole county is on your route? Hi, Fiona. Hi, Katie. Oh, it was a mad dash to get here at all, let alone on time. So sorry I'm late. Anyway, shall we start? Let's start by, hi, Jennifer. For those of you who don't know, who've never been here before, welcome. I'm Cary from Two Big Girls Crafting, and I'm here to share some simple stamping. Nothing difficult, nothing hard. This is all about, yes, Fiona, this is all about just keeping it simple. Hi, Betty. Yes, I made it home in one piece and no parking, no driving tickets, so all good. Anyway, for today's post, hi, Ali, I popped up on our Facebook page today 2 choices. Choice A, which was one card, and choice B, which was another version of the same card. But it used the good old swinking technique, which is a fantastic beginner technique. And everybody chose B. So I think without further ado, before I go any further, let me just say that the stamp set I'm using is called Mischievous Mice, and it is a host set from the Stampin' Up catalogue. What that means is you have to gather sales of over £150 in the UK and the equivalent in other markets. And then you can purchase, let me go back a step. If you achieve sales of £150, you then get 10% of that total to spend on product free. And some sets, stamp sets, are available, and paper, in the catalogues exclusively to be used with host pounds. You can't purchase them with cash, you have to use host pounds. And this cute set is one of those stamp sets. Excuse me. As soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, that's so cute, I gotta have that one. So I thought I'd play with it this week. So without further ado, let's try not to make you get seasick or feel anything like that. Let's turn it over and get the stand set up. And let's see what we can see. Let me just check the laptop. Close that. Oh, that's a very strange picture on the laptop. Can everybody see it okay? I can see it fine on my phone, but it seems pixelated. Hey ho, we'll keep going. Right, first thing you're going to need is a look at the stamp set. This is the card we're going to create, and this is the stamp set. I love this set. It's so sweet. I love this little Misky here. It's balancing it so it's floating away. And this one is hiding behind the pencil because it's just writing a note. And this cheeky one is just poking through the cheese. That's the one I used for today's card. Do you reckon we should use this one? Or should we stick with the Misky, the mouse in the cheese? Ah, the stamp set looks clear. That's good. Thank you, Katie. What should I choose? What should we use? Whilst you're just letting me know what we should use, I'm going to cut myself a card blank using my trusty trimmer and my Whisper white cardstock, and I'm going to score and cut a piece of A4 white cardstock, thick white cardstock, to create a card base. Well, actually I'm making two because you make two at a time. Okay, so where's my trusty bone folder? Let's get these bones. You like the hiding mouse? Cheese! Oh, balloon. Oh, no. Okay, it sounds like it might be the day for the balloons. But I promise you, all the lovely little miskies will get an outing this week if you keep following the blog. Okay, so we've got our card base. And we've got... Oh, I need a bigger block. We're doing the balloon. I've got a block. Now, what colour shall we swink across the page? How about... Oh, when you get this set, it threw me at first. It comes like this. It's a red rubber cling set. And the bit comes out in the middle, but in the middle of there is a little sentiment. So don't throw that away. But this is nice because it means you don't get so many pressure marks. So we've got that. We're going to have a portrait card. I'm going to reposition this so that my mouse is just tiptoeing, because I want this point here to be the point that I have. I'm checking it's all on the block neatly. I am going to do my swinking before I do my stamping. Now, I think I would quite like him to be in a blue sky. Hi, Becky. And nobody's chosen a colour, so we'll go with blue. Actually, we're going to use good old balmy blue. I can't say that word. Balmy. I always put an L in it for some... It has got an L in it, that's why I pronounce it. Okay, this is a nice, bright, soft blue. Bright and soft at the same time. How bizarre. So, now, on this card, I knew that I was going to go that way and my stamp was going to sit in the middle. For this card, I think I'd quite like 2 stripes going across so that it looks like my little mouse is flying in the sky. So to do that, on the ink pad there are 2 ends. One's got the dip for your fingers and the other is closer to the pad. So I'm going to take this edge, I'm going to keep my card base closed, and I'm going to move everything out of the way because I am a messy muppet, and I'm going to start slightly off the paper and I'm just going to gently drag across. Now, I don't know if you can see that. I can in real life. And then I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to do the same again that way. But this time I had a little bit more colour. Now, I want it to have a little bit more colour, so I'm going to... Where am I going? Ah, I'm going here. I'm going to go across from the other way so that I get my blue panels, and maybe a bit in the middle. How's that looking? Oh, that's brilliant. So maybe a little bit more on this edge, just because we like it. And we want a bit more there too. See, this is a really easy, no fuss, no mess. Well, of course, you need to work with grid paper underneath, of course, but it's not a particularly messy technique. I'm not going to add any more colour to the background because it is a background. Oh, sorry about these bits of mess down here, but I have been working on projects and they were blends that got a bit carried away. So the alcohol markers went all the way through. Okay, so we're going to ink up our stamp now. You can hardly see it. If I bring that up, Wait, there's a delay between what I can see and what's going on the... Yeah, it is very subtle, isn't it? But I promise you in real life it's not. It's much bolder. And the reason I want to keep it quite subtle is because we are actually going to be colouring in over the top of it. So there we go. Nicely inked up Miss Muska. Okay, now let's line our card base up on the grid paper because we do want to try and get it straight. And I'm just going to pop her a bit of an angle. Fingers crossed. 1, 2, 3. There. She's floating in the clouds. Now, what am I going to use to colour it? Well, I think I'm going to go for my trusty pencils. I love my watercolour pencils from Stampin' Up. I think they're a great product to have because you can watercolour with them, you can use them straight as pencils, and you can do what I'm going to do today, which is use them with a blender pen. This is a blender pen, not a blends pen. Please be aware this is not an alcohol marker. This is for use with water-based products. And what am I? Yes, I'm going to have a lovely little grey mouse. So I'm going to get my grey pencil out first. And I'm going to use a little bit of pink for inside his, or hers, because I think this is a little girl mouse. Inside her ears, just here, just a little peak of pink. Her nose. Then I'm going to take my grey pencil and I'm going to go over the top. Now, I know there are all kinds of colours, mouses, mouses, I don't know. But one of the things that I love about stamping is you can create your creatures any colour you like. Now, can you see my lines? Yeah, I'm hoping you will be able to see, but if you can't, there are some lines there. So what I've got is my blender pen. I'm going to very carefully make sure it's clean, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to smooth out the colour. Now these blender pens come in a pack of 3 and they are all the same. They're all double-ended, they all have the same fluid in them, and a 3-pack has lasted me 10 years. So I think they're a good investment purchase. So we have a nice mouse. Now to get rid of the colour off the end of my blender pen, I just rub it onto the grid paper. Let's go to colouring in the rest of him. Okay.
I believe the plural is mice, but we always call them misses.
Misses. I love it. Oh, cutesies. Well, no, actually, dormice, which are teeny tiny little brown mice in the fields, are very sweet, but I don't like them in the house. I'll never forget we were doing a class online, and one of the ladies was in her dining room with using Zoom. We were doing Zoom class, and her cat very kindly, very proudly came in and brought her a present. A live mouse. The scream was phenomenal, and the mouse went, and so did my friend. Oh, it was hilarious. Poor old Lydia. She was chasing the one mouse, for nearly 3 hours. It went up the curtains, it went everywhere. It made us all, it was just so hilarious. Okay, so there we have. Oh, we also had a mouse in our house, and the one Christmas I had some, what do you call them? After eight mints and some Elizabeth Shaw mints. Well, our mouse only liked after eight mints because it ate the whole packet of after eight mints and left all the other chocolate. I couldn't quite work out why, because I thought mice didn't like mint, but this little creature did. Anyway, they are mischievous. Okay, so we've coloured our mouse in. We're now going to colour our balloon in. I think because we have a nice blue background, shall we have a nice blue, this shade of colour here, which is Bermuda Bay, I think would look really pretty. It's number 6, so it must be this one. Yes. Now, the other way you can use your blender pen, see the lids even stack up, is you can actually get the colour directly from the nib of the pencil and just very carefully treat it as if it was a felt tip pen. So I'm not going to colour huge areas of this in. I'm going to use the other thing that I like about a blender pen, which is the ability to shade with it. I'm not an artist, that's why I stamp. I would love to be able to draw and paint. Oh, it would be gorgeous, but it's just not me. So what I'm doing is about the limit of my artistic streak, really. So I'm giving this a look of colour. You can use these blender pens with ink, and I'll show you that in a moment, Katie, because I think they're a great purchase. Now, that's my Bermuda Bay pencil. Here's my Bermuda Bay ink pad. Now, you can squeeze in the middle. Some of them do and some of them don't. And you can use this like a water tray. Now, let's turn that off. I'm just going to pick up some of the ink here. And I'm going to put it down here. Can you see how that's come through? This is a little bit stronger than my pencil, but that's okay because we can build up the colour. Now, the other thing you do have to be careful of is the pilling of the paper, because I'm getting it too wet in that area. So let's start pulling this colour in towards the balloon. I think that's giving quite a nice feel of a colour rather than a solid swatch of colour. What do you guys think? I think that needs a little. The other way we can do it is we can actually put the pencil down and then blend the pencil out. So let's try that over here, shall we? Let's put a bit of pencil down and then try blending it out. Well, that works nicely. Not sure I like my balloon very much, but I love the colour. Let's keep going, shall we, and see how we end up. Let's see where it goes. Have you all had a nice weekend? Here in West Sussex, it's been very windy overnight. We had lots of rain and wind. I know up where my mum lives in Lincolnshire, it's been particularly strong winds, and a big storm came through. But so far we've been very lucky and not had too much damage done or anything. Now Kay, one of the ladies watching, lives on the south coast. I don't know if she's had yes, it is a huge balloon, and I'm not particularly happy with the way I've coloured that in. But you know what? It's a quick fix because that's quite an easy shape to cut out. Now, this isn't something I normally do on a Make It Simple Monday. I'm going to put this die to one side and we're going to make this work for us. I'm going to take a scrap of paper. I'm going to grab my balloon.
Lots of snow and brutally cold here and
Oh, I don't like the sound of that. I got a better idea than putting it onto a piece of plain paper. How about a piece of patterned paper? Aha! Oh, this will make a nice balloon. Let's ink them up. I'm really sorry it's so cold, but I suppose if you live there all the time, you must get used to it in a way. So we're just going to, we've stamped him up and we're just going to put him onto some pattern paper. Now, this isn't really what I would call a simple stamping project because I'm about to bring out my trusty scissors. And I know that for many people, fussy cutting is not their favourite thing. But I think, oh, paper piecing, yes, you guessed it, Katie. It's one of my favourites, and I think it's a great way to learn to cover up your mistakes. You could do it with plain white paper. You could do it with scraps of other papers. It's just a great way to tidy things up sometimes. Now, my 2Ps, can you see I've actually cut in on top of the line for the balloon, and I've done that consciously because when I lay it down I want it to line up nicely, and I'll be giving you another little tip in a moment about how to make your work, your paper piecing, look really neat and tidy. Now, I've used Memento black ink here. It's my basic standard go-to black ink, but you can do this with any inks. I could have stamped it in the colour onto the pattern paper. Anyway, put that to one side. There's my balloon. Oh, there's a little fluffy bit there. Let's see if we can snip that out. That was the trickiest part. Now, what I'm looking for is my trusty basic black Stamping Right marker. Stamping Right markers are available in colour families, but the black one is available on its own, and they come with a bullet tip for writing and a brush tip for colouring. So I'm going to use my brush tip. I am going to be working from behind my piece of work, so I'm literally just going to go around the edges of the cut edge. Can you see how that edge is beginning to become more shown up? Now, if you're doing this, I would always suggest you go from behind. So if you make a mistake, you're only going on the back of your work, not on the front. And if you do it carefully, you can even go into these little tiny pieces here. Sorry, you can tell I'm concentrating. I've gone silent. Okay. So we've got a much neater looking edge there now. Put the lid back on and we can place that on there. Yes! See, there is never a problem that you can't fix. Oh, have I stopped showing live? Oh, I'm sorry, we keep having troubles. Okay, a little bit of glue. I like to use this Tombow multi-purpose, but you could use a tape runner, you could use tape, whatever is your preferred glue. I like wet glue, as I call it, because it gives me a bit of wiggle room. So, there we have a little Misty being blown up in the air under the balloon. Now, she does look as though she's just kind of floating in the air. So what I might do is grab my balmy blue pencil and just put her little bit of shadow under here for her, so that she does actually look like she's floating in the air. In with my trusty blender pen. Now she really is floating in the air. Okay, sentiment. What are we going to use? Oh, it's your birthday. Now, where shall we put it? There. Or hi, sweet friend. Hi, sweet friend. That's a nice sentiment. I like that sentiment. Let's try this one. So, got to try and work out which is the right way to go, because I don't use the stickers. That is purely a personal choice. The stickers are great if that's the way you like to work. Okay, so tap, tap, tap. The block is a little large. Let's check it out onto the grid paper first.
Katie says they should have done flying by to say hi.
Oh, now that would have been perfect, wouldn't it, Katie? Flying by to say hi. Okay. So I think we're going to pop our sentiment just here or here. Here. Oh, here, underneath the balloon. Okay, let's line up our paper onto the grid. And fingers crossed, up a fraction. 1, 2, 3. Hi, sweet friend. And there we go. I hope you like it. I think it looks really sweet. I love the way that you can add colour to your background. So you could have all white card bases and colour them any colour you like. Yes, we did kind of cheat because I didn't like the way it coloured in on that balloon. Probably because I've been using a lot of blends, alcohol markers lately, and they give such a smooth finish. The other way I could have done it would have been to, actually, let's have a go. Let's try stamping. Let's find a scrap here. Let's stamp this up and see how it works out with a watercolour brush. Let's go. I'm not worrying about the image, I'm just looking at the balloon. Oh, now, water brushes, where are you? Water painters, here you are. Now, these come in a pack of 3. You get a broad brush. Oh, thank you, ladies. A fine tip and a medium tip. So I'm going to use the medium tip. Now, I don't have any water in my brushes, but what I do have is a little water bottle cap, and I've dropped a few little droplets of water in here, so you could use any kind of water paintbrush, not water brush. This is a water brush. Okay, so I'm going to wet my water brush. I'm going to grab a small piece of kitchen roll because I don't want floods. I'm going to take the colour directly from the pencil, watercolour pencil, and I'm just going to apply the colour here. And let's see if we can get an image that makes us happier. I don't know that I am. I'm not a watercolour artist. I'm not an artist by any strokes of the imagination. Let's see what happens. I'm sure some of you guys are much better at this than I am. Let's just add a bit more colour down here. I'm a bit heavy-handed. Yeah, I think it's more me than the product. I think I'm trying to just get a watercolour wash going, but I'm not really achieving it. I think I need to... I'm going to have to practice with this and maybe do better for next time. I can't decide whether I like it paper, then a brush, and swish it around. See, I don't like the lines left there. Or brush and colour. I think brush and colour is subtler. And this isn't watercolour paper, of course. This is just cardstock, so you can't use as much water as you would on watercolour paper. But definitely think picking the colour up with your wet brush is a better way for me than scribbling it on and then colouring it out in such a large area. I'm okay on small areas, I'm just not very good on this big area. I think I need to work on it. But if you guys have got any hints or tips, please let me know. Let's share the love and share the knowledge. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. And it's not perfect. And neither's my balloon painting skills. Could say the same about my wall painting skills. I'm not very good at that either. My mum, on the other hand, was brilliant, or is brilliant, at painting and decorating. Never my skill set. There. Now, I definitely think the watercolour is the approach to go if you're going for colouring it in. I think that much. I think I would probably wait until that was dry and then maybe go over it again with another layer of colour. But anyway, let's get rid of the ink off of this brush. You can tell the dye, I've used it with Magenta Madness. And that stains, mind you, that tip looks gorgeous, doesn't it? And that pink and then the Bermuda Bay. Okay, let's put the lid back on there so we don't spoil it. And put that in there so that doesn't drip everywhere. Okay, so that, my friends, is this week's offerings. Balloon painting is not Cary's best attribute or best skill, talent, whatever we want to call it. But I do like my swinking. I'm good with I'm good with messy play. Anyway, I hope you all have a fab week and you are all looking forward to some fun crafty time, and I will speak to you all soon. See you next week. Bye bye.